turn the ringer off of my telephone. I believe it's that time for us to start our June Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Welcome, everybody. The first thing on the agenda is our consent agenda, which is the only thing on the consent agenda are the meeting minutes from our May meeting. Do I have any corrections that need to be made? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Moving through to our regular agenda. We've got the first item. We don't have any old business, do we?
No old business.
First item under new business is SD 2510. Yes, sir.
And before Mike starts his presentation, just I had one question. There was did receive a question about the current suspension of new applications. This project has been in the pipeline. There was a previous Board of Adjustment case, so it falls under those exceptions of reviewing that. Just wanted to clarify if there was any questions.
I'm going to recuse myself.
Sorry, one other item of business.
This will be their first new item, new
Right.
business.
It's not really an item, but just, you notice the table's a little more crowded over here. So to my right is our new planning and zoning manager, Peyton Rogers. He started last Tuesday, so want to welcome him.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right. So Mike Jeffries with the City of Fairhope. This is case SD 25.10, the Summit Street Inn Multiple Occupancy Project. It's a public hearing at the request of the applicant, SE Civil, on behalf of the owner, Shelley Springer. The property is zoned B3B. It's for a 6-unit multiple occupancy project. The property is approximately 0.3 acres, located at 131 Fairhope Avenue. It's at the southeast corner of Fairhope Avenue and Summit Street. On the screen on the left is our zoning map. On the right is the aerial. I'll point out that this is outside of the central business district, just barely. On the other side of the street is the central business district. The proposed site plan, not a lot is having to change with the site. It's a previous historic building that is on the register. The building footprint, the layout is staying the same. Minor adjustment to some decking that is out there, and there will be an addition of some gravel parking located on the north side to accommodate the future tenants. For the utilities, the utility plan was submitted, reviewed by all the appropriate providers. The garbage will be rollout cans stored on the west side of the building. There will be 2 garbage cans that will be located there. So confirmed that with our Public Works Director this morning as well, that they are comfortable serving the site with 2 cans. And the applicant right now is saying that the 2 cans will be sufficient for what they're expecting for the tenants to be there. For parking, the traffic study was not required, but each unit, being a dwelling unit, does require 1 parking space. And for this use, 1 space per 5 employees is required. So the applicant has stated there will only be 1 employee. So the 7 spaces have been provided. 1 space is accessed off of Fairhope Avenue, which is an existing gravel space aligned with a 60-inch oak tree. It was determined during the review that removing that, trying to alter that, was going to hurt the tree more than helping that. So that existing space is staying as it is and will be used predominantly for the employee parking. And the 6 tenant spaces will be located and accessed off of the driveway on Summit Street. For drainage, so the existing flow patterns are not changing. The impervious area actually decreased by 0.02 acres. The water will continue to sheet flow to Fairhope Avenue as it does today. The landscape buffering around the vehicular use area has been provided along the perimeter. An area on the northwest corner needs some additional plantings to complete the buffer. The 20-foot landscape buffer required along Fairhope Avenue is being enhanced with additional landscaping. And the green space is of a courtyard that wraps around the Fairhope Avenue and the Summit Street in right-of-way. Staff recommends approval with conditions of SD 25.10, with the number one condition of the landscape buffer, and the final landscape plan is approved by the city horticulturalist at the time of building permit. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them on behalf of staff, and we have the applicant, SE Civil, with us, as well as the owner, Ms. Shelley Springer, to answer questions on behalf of them as well. Yep.
Are there any questions for staff at this time? All right, in that case, do you have anything to add, Larry, at this time?
No, it's not. We're here.
All right. Sherry, anything? All right, commissioners, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing at this point. Anybody from the public wish to speak? Yes, sir. If you'll stand up, state your name and your address for our secretary.
My name is Bob Griffin. I live across the street at 203 Fairhope Avenue, Dr. Michon's old house. I just have some questions. I didn't know exactly what it was going to do. Is this going to be short-term rentals, long-term? What is this? It's been a bed and breakfast before, which I didn't know it needed to be anything new other than that.
We don't know. You can ask the owner after the meeting, but,
We know.
oh, we do know, excuse me. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it is a renovation of the inn, will not be a traditional bed and breakfast. There will be facilities for the resident, or the people staying, but it is absolutely zoned for short-term rentals.
Yeah, it's short-term, though. It's no long-term, just like a bed and breakfast, except you don't get the breakfast, right?
We didn't get that detailed. There is some facilities there there's not a full kitchen. It is kind of warming and be provided, so.
Right, well,
so
my
very
only
similar.
point was short-term rentals. and,
Not a
yeah.
long-term apartment
Right,
stays, things
right,
like that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Just didn't want anything to happen to that house. I bought mine 25 years ago to save Dr. Michon's house.
No, I understand. Thank you, sir. Well, excuse me, what I meant to say by that, as far as, we're looking at this under a site plan review. We're not looking at it based on, the occupancy could change, in a year. This is basically a renovation site plan review we're approving. But whatever the zoning is on that particular property, she could change that tomorrow and do something else on the zoning. Am I correct, Hunter? I saw
Anything
you.
that would be allowed within.
Anything to be allowed in that zoning?
B3,
Right, which are things other than just a hotel. There are quite a few in there, so. But we're looking at the streetscape and the form and so forth on that. As far as anything that fits in that zoning would be allowed that this is not a zoning change. Yes, sir. It's an attractive house, and it looks like it'll stay that way.
And I will say, this has been, a couple-year conversation, and there's been a lot of effort to preserve the house. So I think that's commendable for all involved, and it has put a lot of work in, and we're happy to kind of see it move forward.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak? If not, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. Commissioners, any questions or concerns?
Mr. Chairman,
Well,
Ms. Springer previously described to me in a brief conversation her plans for this project, but I did not review any information that is not otherwise publicly disclosed here at the meeting, and I did not develop any type of opinion in advance, one way or the other, about the project.
We'll go ahead and put that in our minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All
Make a motion.
right.
I move we approve SD 25.10 Summit Street Inn, subject to staff recommendations.
I have a motion to approve, subject to staff recommendations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Go ahead and put that on Eric, if you will. I just want people to know he was here. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Anything else for our agenda?
No.
I will take, if somebody makes a motion to adjourn, we'll break a new record. Thank you. All right.
Sorry.